Greetings everyone, I am Dr. J, and if you are seeing this, then I've just created a tremendous amount of work for myself. The last time I tried to do a CRPG for this channel, it took for freaking ever to put it together, and that's while doing a relatively short campaign and had plenty of stuff that I missed as a result. With this one, given how good the writing is based on my time spent thus far, this could easily be a 200-part series, which meant that this will likely take over a year to actually finish. Either way, I fully expect that I will finish the review for the game and upload it to the main channel before I finish showing all of my time spent with it, due to the nature in which I record and edit stuff. So if you start watching this, prepare for the long haul. This is Planescape Torment. That is one ugly mug. Alright. Now, I'm a little conflicted to what to do, because while I was doing research on the game, I found out that one of the main ways that you find out stuff about yourself, that finding stuff out about yourself is an important factor, and to do that, wisdom and intelligence tends to be a major factor, but the problem is that I start out as a fighter. So, okay, why is there flickering? Oh. I hope that's not picking up in the recording, because that's going to get annoying. Hang on, let me check. There's always going to be technical difficulties, isn't there? Is this just a problem with my display drivers? Oh well. It's probably not getting picked up. If it happens again, then I'll worry about it. So, I don't know. I feel like it would make the most sense to go... So I'm a little conflicted, because when I was doing research, I found out that one of the main ways to an important factor that you're going to have to deal with is recovering your old memories. But the problem is, in order to do that, you need wisdom and intelligence, but since you started as a fighter, I opted for strength. So, I don't know what to do here. Should I go with what I originally intended, or should I go with what will likely lead to more interesting dialogue? I'm not sure. I believe there may be an option somewhere along the line to change classes, so... probably err for... yeah, let's err for the side of caution. Let's go with this, maybe. Well, I don't know. It's only gonna be... I don't know, it's a hard decision to make. Well, I'll be able to tinker with stuff later, so I think, for the purpose of fairness, I think this is really what I should go with. Alright, let's do it.
Hey, Chief. You okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
What? Who are you? Ah, who am I? How about you start? Who are you? I asked you first, Skull. Yeah, and I asked you second. What's your name? I don't know. I can't remember. You can't remember your name? Huh. Well, next time you spend a night in this burg, go easy on the bub. Name's Morty. I'm trapped in here too. Trapped? Yeah, since you haven't had time to get your legs yet, here's the chance. I've tried all the doors and this room is locked tighter than a chastity belt. We're locked in... where? What is this place? It's called the Mortuary. It's a big black structure with all the architectural charm of a pregnant spider. Okay, that's a good line. The Mortuary? What? Am I dead? Not from where I'm standing. You got scars aplenty though. Looks like some bark painted you with a knife. All the more reason to give this place the laugh before whoever carved you up comes back to finish the job. Scars? How bad are they? Well, the carving on your chest ain't too bad, but the ones in your back... Morty pauses. Say, looks like you've got a whole tattoo gallery on your back, Chief. Spells out something. Tattoos on my back? What do they say? Heh, looks like you come with directions. Morty clears his throat. Let's see, it starts with... I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of Styx wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal that'll shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farad can fill you in on the rest of the chant, if he's not in the dead book already. Farad? Does it say anything else? Yeah, there's a bit more. Morty pauses. Let's see. It goes on. Don't lose the journal, it'll be up to Styx again. And whatever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you. Read the journal, and find Farad. No wonder my back hurts. There's a damn novel written there. As for that journal, I'm supposed to have with me. Was there one with me while I was lying here? No, you were stripped to the skins when you arrived here. Besides, looks like you got enough of a journal printed on your back. What about Farad? Do you know him? Nobody I know. And then again, I don't know many people. Still, some Burks gotta know where to find Farad. Once we get out of here, that is. How do we get out of here? Well, all the doors are locked, so we'll need the key. Chances are one of the walking corpses in this room has it. Walking corpses? Yeah, the mortuary keeper used dead bodies as cheap labor. The corpses are dumb as stones, but they're harmless and won't attack you, unless you attack first. Is there some other way? I don't want to kill them just for a key. What? You think it's gonna hurt their feelings? They're dead. But if you want a bright side to this, if you kill them, at least they'll have a rest before their keepers raise them up to work again. Well, alright. I'll take one of them down and get the key. Well, before you do that, arm yourself first. I think there's a scalpel on one of the shelves around here. Alright, search the shelves in the room for a weapon to attack the zombies with. When you find one, go to the inventory. Okay, fair enough. Standard CRPG stuff. Alright, I'll look for one. One last thing. Those corpses are as slow as molasses, but getting punched by one of them is like being kissed by a battering ram. When they start getting an edge on you, remember you can run, and they can't. Use it to keep some distance if you need to recover. To run, either toggle run in the options screen or hold down the shift key and left click on the area you want to run to. Now this is a nice feature, from what I remember of the hour or so I played. If you're in danger of dying, use running to keep your distance. Alright, thanks for the advice. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Alright, bunch of bandages. Oh, we're going for a gruff voice here, are we?
Done.
Sorry, no, I'm just gonna use my normal voice. It's that this character might technically be names, but honestly...
Right. Done.
This is pretty much gonna be an insert for me, so I'm just gonna use my normal voice. It'll also mean less stress on me.
Done.
So, yeah. Alright, here's a scalpel. Alright, you found the scalpel. Now, go get those corpses. And don't worry, I'll stay back and provide valuable tactical advice. Maybe you could help me, Morty. I will be helping you. Good advice is hard to come by. I mean, help in attacking the corpse. Me? I'm a romantic, not a soldier. I just get in the way. Okay, I kind of want to go a neutral good character, but... I don't know. This is just a fun line. When I attack this corpse, you better be right in there with me. Now, I'll just go with this. Time to introduce these corpses to the second death, then.
Alright.
Alright, let's see what else there is around here first. Alright, then. What do we have here? Not much to see. A bunch of locations, but not much to them. The shambling corpse looks like it has been dead for several years. The skin along his forehead is peeled back, revealing a chalk-white skull. Someone has chiseled the number 569 into the exposed bone. Examine the corpse, see if it's carrying a key. This corpse doesn't appear to be carrying a key, and it doesn't look like it would be able to use one if it did. Its fingers are broken, as if someone smashed them with a hammer. You do happen to notice that its left shoulder is heavily bandaged. The bandages might be useful if the corpse was disposed of at first. Guess you don't have it. You don't happen to know which one of your other corpse friends has the key out of this place. Chief, I can't hear you, alright? I can't hear you, alright? They're dead. But you're dead, and you're talking to me. Yeah, but I'm special. Death couldn't kill my zest for life. These corpses here, they probably didn't have much personality to begin with. I see. Look, Chief, watching you try to swap the head to these corpses isn't doing much for my morale. Let's leave the corpse. Talk for the barmies, alright? Alright then, let's go.
Done.
Let's see. The corpse's head lolls back and forth on its shoulders. Judging from the angle of the neck, it looks like this man may have been hanged. The number 825 has been painted on the side of his head. The corpse is carrying nothing, but you happen to notice its hands are heavily bandaged. Okay. More of that nonsense. Come on, Morty. The corpse stops and stares blankly at you as you approach. The number 782 is carved into his forehead, and his lips have been stitched closed. The faint smell of formaldehyde emanates from the body. This corpse looks like the one with the key. It is holding it tightly in its left hand, its thumb and forefinger locked around it in a death grip. It looks like you'll need to hack the corpse's hand off to free the key. I need that key, corpse. Looks like you're not long for this world. Get over here, Morty. Alright then.
Alright.
Easy enough. Alright. Now, if I recall correctly, I can't open this door yet.
Alright.
Yep,
Alright.
I've got a key, but I need a different key. A system of rails is running through the whole room. It looks like the slabs in the room can be moved around on these rails. I wonder how easily I could do that. Oh well, let's get moving first. Come on. You get used to Baldur's Gate 2 handling all the good stuff. Well, handling most of the good movement nonsense, and then actually making it possible to move, more to the point. Psst! Some advice, Chief. I keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary, especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. I don't think you mentioned it before. Who are these caretakers? They call themselves the Dustmen. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They're an adult bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. Nope, they believe everybody should die. Sooner better than later. I'm confused. Why do these Dustmen care if I escape? Weren't you listening? I said the Dusties believe everybody's gotta die sooner better than later. You think the corpses you've seen are happier in the dead book than out of it? The corpses I've seen here, where did they all come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. Before you said something about making sure I didn't kill any female corpses. Why? What, are you serious? Look, Chief, these dead chits are the last chance for a couple of hardy bashers like us. We need to be chivalrous. No hacking them up for keys, no lopping their limbs off, things like that. Last chance? What are you talking about? Chief, they're dead, we're dead. See where I'm going? Eh? You can't be serious. Chief, we already got an opening line with these limping ladies. We've all died at least once. We'll have something to talk about. They'll appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say before that I'm not dead? Well, alright, you might not be dead, but I am. And from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, sinewy cadavers I see here. Morty starts clacking his teeth as if in anticipation. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with them first, and that's not likely. Alright, I'll try and remember that. Look, Chief, it's obvious you're still a little laddered after your kiss with death, so I've got 2 bits of advice for you. 1, if you've got questions, ask me, alright? Alright, if I have any questions, I'll ask you. 2nd, if you're half as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, just jot it down so you don't forget it. If I had that journal I was supposed to have with me, I'd do that. Start a new one then, Chief. No loss. There's plenty of parchment and ink around here to last you. Alright. It couldn't hurt. I'll make a new one then. Use it to keep track of your movements. If you ever start to get cloudy on important things, like who you are, more importantly who I am, use it to refresh your memory. Alright, I got it. Let's go.
Updated my journal.
I like the writing so far. And I'll show a little bit more as soon as I get the chance, but there's some really good writing in this game. I can see why people will... Well, at least initially, I can definitely see why people would call this one of the best RPGs ever, because there certainly is a lot to the writing. I'm not necessarily sure I agree with them yet, because I'm definitely very fond of Baldur's Gate 2. At the same time, I did finish playing it all the way through for the first time a week ago, so... Actually, I think less than that. I told myself I would stay away from this, give my mind time to simmer on Baldur's Gate 2 before I went straight into this, but I'm apparently a lying liar. Yeah, well. Okay, so that's what we're using for gold then. Fist irons. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Huh. I didn't even use the scalpel. I was probably doing enough damage anyway. This huge logbook lists mortuary procedures in a tight, cramped script. All shells entering the mortuary are to be delivered to the receiving room and locked with the scribe on duty before being embalmed or cremated. The records are to be checked to determine that the shell is one of the contracted, and if so, do not prepare the shell. Move the shell to one of the preparation rooms, contact the scribe on duty, and notify him that a contracted shell is to be raised. Be certain that a shell is thoroughly stripped of its possessions before being sent to the preparation rooms. The contracted workers are intended for simple manual labor and do not have the capacity to search and strip a shell. The faction is not responsible for any possessions lost or items stolen by collectors who have brought the shells to the mortuary. The shell's possessions are to be stored in the receiving room until an initiate can be sent to claim them. Please catalog all possessions in the logbook. Following this list is thousands of entries of bodies that have been sent to the receiving room. As you flip through the rest of the book, however, you notice the last page has been cut out. I know a little bit about... I think I have a general idea as to what this all is, but I'm not entirely sure.
Alright.
I think I'll need to keep playing through this to piece it all together. I mean, I did play about an hour and a half of this, but that was months ago. The scribe looks very old. His skin is wrinkled and has a slight trace of yellow, like old parchment. Charcoal gray eyes lie within an angular face, and a large white beard flows down the front of his robes, like a waterfall. His breathing is ragged and irregular, but even his occasional coughing does not slow the scratching of his quill pen. Greetings. Whoa, Chief, what are you doing? I was going to speak with the scribe. He might know something about how I got here. Look, rattling your bone box with Dusty should be the last thing. Before Morty can finish his rant, the scribe begins coughing violently. After a moment or two, the coughing spell dies down and the scribe's breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. And we especially shouldn't be swapping the chit with sick Dusties. Come on, let's leave. The quicker we give this place the laugh, the bet. Before Morty can finish, the scribe's gray eyes flicker to you. The weight of years hangs heavily upon me, restless one. He places down his quill, but I do not yet count deafness among my ailments. Restless one, do you know me? Know you? There is a trace of bitterness in the scribe's voice as he speaks. I have never known you, restless one. No more than you have known yourself. He is silent for a moment, for you have forgotten, have you not? Who are you? As always, the question, and the wrong question as always. He bows slightly, but the movement suddenly sends him into a bout of coughing. He pauses for a moment, catches his breath. I am Dahl. Perhaps you can answer some questions for me, Dahl.
Updated my journal.
Very well. What do you wish to know? What is this place? You are in the mortuary, restless one. Again you have... come. Before he can finish, Dahl breaks into a fit of coughing. After a moment, he calms himself and his breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. This is the waiting room for those about to depart the shadow of this life. Shadow of this life? Oh, I see. That's going to be unintuitive, and I'm going to complain about it a lot. Shadow of this life? Yes, a shadow. You see, restless one, this life, it is not real. Your life, my life, they are shadows, flickering of what life once loved. Yeah, this life is where we end up after we die. And here we remain, trapped, caged, until we can achieve true death. True death? True death is non-existence, a state devoid of reason, of sensation, of passion. Dahl coughs, then gives a ragged breath. A state of purity. It sounds like oblivion. Why would anyone want that? It is worse than remaining in this shadow of... Is it worse than remaining in this shadow of what life once was? I think not. Shadow of life? Alright, that nonsense. What makes you think this life isn't real? What makes you think this life is real? Look inside yourself. Do you not feel something lacking? Dahl shakes his head. This is a purgatory. There is only sorrow here. Misery. Torment. These are not the elements that make up life. They are part of the cage that traps us in this shadow. I think your fatalism has gotten the better of you. Those elements are part of life, but not the whole of it. Dahl shakes his head. Passions carry weight. They anchor many to this shadow of life. As long as one clings to emotion, they will be continually reborn into this life, forever suffering, never knowing the purity of true death. I see. How does one escape the cycle of rebirth and achieve this true death? Kill your passions. Strip yourself of the need for sensation. When you are truly cleansed, then the cycle of rebirth will end, and you achieve peace. Dahl sighs. It sounds like a death rattle in his throat. Past these shells of ours, past the eternal boundary, lies the peace that all souls seek. The eternal boundary? The boundary between the shadow of this life and the true death. Tell me more about the mortuary. This is where the dead are brought to be interred or cremated. It is our responsibility as dustmen to care for the dead, those who have left this shadow of life and walked the path to true death. Dahl's voice drops in concern. Your wounds must have exacted a heavy toll if you do not recognize this place. It is almost your home. Dustmen? We dustmen are a faction, a gathering of those of us that recognize the illusion of this life. We await the next life and help others on their journey. Perhaps you could explain why the dustmen want me dead. Dahl sighs. It is said there are souls who can never attain the true death. Death has forsaken them, and their names shall never be penned in the death book. To awake from death as you have done suggests you are one of these souls. Your existence is unacceptable to our faction. Unacceptable? That doesn't sound like it leaves me in a good position. You must understand, your existence is a blasphemy to them. Many of our faction would order you cremated, if they were aware of your affliction. You're a dustman, but you don't seem to be in favor of killing me. Why not? Because forcing our beliefs upon you is not just. You must give up this shadow of life on your own, not because we force you to. Dahl looks about to break into another coughing jack, but he manages to hold it in with some effort. As long as I remain at my post, I will protect your right to search for your own truth. What is your post? I am a scribe, a cataloger of all the shells that have come to the mortuary. Dahl coughs again, then takes a deep breath. As long as the stream of corpses flow through the mortuary, I shall remain in my post. You say that I have been here more than once. How is it that the dustmen do not recognize me?
Updated my journal.
I am the one that catalogs the shells that come to our halls, restless one. Dahl breaks into a fit of coughing, then steadies himself. Only I see the faces of those that lie upon our slabs. The dark of your existence lies safe with me. How did I get here? Dahl snorts in contempt, as if he finds the memory repugnant. Your moldy chariot ferried you into the mortuary, restless one. You would think you were royalty based on the number of loyal subjects that lay stinking and festering upon the cart that carried you. I arrived here on a cart?
Updated my journal.
Yes. Your body was somewhere in the middle of the heap, sharing its fluids with the rest of the mountain of corpses. Dahl breaks into another violent fit of coughing, finally catching his breath minutes later. Your Senescal, Farod, was, as always, pleased to accept a few moldy coppers to dump the lot of you at the mortuary gates. Doesn't sound like you Actually, let's go for this first. Who is this Farod? He is a collector of the dead. Dahl draws a ragging breath, then continues. We have such people in our city that scavenge the bodies of those who have walked the path of true death. and bring them to us so they may be interred properly. Doesn't sound like you like Farod much. There are some I respect, Restless One. Dahl takes a ragged breath and steadies himself. Farod is not one of them. He wears his ill repute like a badge of honor, and takes liberties with the possessions of the dead. He is a Knight of the Post, cross-trading filth of the lowest sort. Knight of the Post? A Knight of the Post, Dahl coughs, a thief. All Farod brings to our walls comes stripped of a little less of their dignity than they possessed in life. Farod takes whatever he may pry from their stiffening fingers. Did this Farod take anything from me? Dahl pauses, considering. Most likely. Are you missing anything? Especially anything of value? Voice stiffs as he frowns. Not that Farod would take exception to anything that wasn't physically grafted to your body, and sometimes even that's not enough to give his greedy mind pause. I am missing a journal. A journal? If it was of any value, then it is likely it lies in Farod's hands. That was a bit more of a mouthful than it needed to be. Where can I find this Farod? If events persist as they have, Restless One, you have a much greater chance of Farod finding you and bringing you to us again, before you find whatever ooze puddle he wallows in this time. Nevertheless, I must find him. A slight warning creeps into Dahl's tone. Do not seek out Farod, Restless One. I am certain that it will simply come full circle again, with you none the wiser and Farod a few coppers richer. Accept death, Restless One. Do not perpetuate your circle of misery. I have a feeling this isn't going to lead anywhere, but
my journal.
I have to find him. Do you know where he is? Dahl is silent for a moment. When he finally speaks, he seems to do so reluctantly. I do not know under which gutter stone Farod lies at the moment, but I imagine that he can be found somewhere beyond the mortuary gates, in the hive. Perhaps someone there will know where you can find him. Let's see. Can you tell me how to get out of here? The front gate is the most obvious exit, but they will not let anyone other than dustmen pass. Dahl breaks into a ragged cough, then continues. One of the guides by the front gate has a key to it, but it is unlikely he will open it for you unless you are extremely persuasive. I see. You sound ill. Are you not well? I am closer now to true death, Restless One. It will not be long before I pass beyond the eternal boundary, and find the peace I have been seeking. I tire of this mortal sphere. Dahl gives a ragged sigh. The plains hold no more wonders for one such as I. Are you certain? There might be some way I could help you. I do not wish to live forever, nor live again, Restless One. I could not bear it. So be it. Farewell, Dahl. As you turn to leave, Dahl speaks. Know this. I do not envy you, Restless One. To be reborn as you would be a curse that I could not bear. You must come to terms with it. At some point, your path will return you here. Dahl coughs, the sound rattling in his throat. It is the way of all things flesh and bone. Then perhaps we will meet again, Dahl. And already my voice is not liking how much speaking I'm having to do. But at the same time, there is plenty to the writing here, and it certainly is fascinating.
I'm gone.
I'm curious to see how it'll be in the long term, though. But I guess we'll find out before too long. I wonder what I could do. Is there anything I could do with this? Hair is knotted into a long braid and looped around her neck like a noose. Psst! You see the way she was looking at me? Huh? You see that? The way she was following the curve of my occipital bone? You mean the blank-eyed beyond the grave stare? What? Are you blind? She was scouting me out. It was shameless the way she wanted me. Oh, God. How do I want to... I don't know. All of these are really good snarky comebacks. I don't know. This seems like the most fun. Wanted you to go away, maybe. She was obviously too distracted by me to pay attention to some stupid bobbing head with a big mouth. You? Yeah, right. Trust me, chits beyond the grave don't care about all that physicality, and I've got a body, and I'm all scarred and tough looking. They want guys with spirit. That's me, Chief. You corpses like you are as common as copper. Whatever, Morty. Let's go. I'm surprised Morty puts up with me.
I'm gone.